right, welcome to the week ahead.
Hey, Vincent.
Hi, Andrew.
Hey, Vincent, how you doing?
Holy week.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, huh?
Yes, no,
Yeah.
I mean it's Halloween.
Oh,
so
yeah.
the week is very holy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Very holy
It
week.
finishes with All Saints Day, so.
Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And people usually mix up, they thought that the All Saints Day is on the 31st of October.
Right.
Actually, it's
November 1st, the day
November
after.
the 1st,
Yeah,
which is this Friday.
Yeah.
All right.
So we'll finish off the week. You think people get a little naughty and then they'll get a little nice.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
right. Okay, trick or treat?
Yeah, I didn't take my kids out last year. I guess I was being a bad daddy.
How
but,
bad are you?
Middle of the week, and they got homework, and then you're like, how are we going to break into somebody's building, and then, people don't know about it. So it's a little tough. But I'll see what I can figure out this week.
All right.
So, what's going on in Hong Kong today? Education, cross-border kindergarten. Michael Teen is going to be raising the issue in Education Committee again today. He's really, given for a guy who's supposed to be from, the business community, he's really made this kind of his little niche in education, is this whole issue with cross-border kindergartens, and I guess that goes to his district.
Yep.
Right, given he's Kowloon, New Territories East, so that's a big one for him. And Ip Kin Yun, of course, being the education guy, is on this file as well, and he had a piece with us at Harbour Times a little while ago, kind of basically saying, you know what, we could have seen this coming. All the problems that we're having with cross-border. I've been up there. Have you seen them before?
Yeah.
You've been up there crossing the border, and there's like little people everywhere with their little backpacks.
Well, we have done a special before.
Okay.
With my ex-colleagues.
Okay.
And we are worried about Hong Kong kids.
Yeah.
Have to cross the boundary and has to go back to their home.
Yeah, and
with all the others adults.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a strange situation.
Yeah.
The only thing I've ever seen like it was when I was in high school. I lived in a part of Canada where it was on the border with the United States. But the part that it bordered with the United States, a place called Point Roberts, people can go look it up. It was a very small community, but it was cut off from the mainland. So kids every day would have to get on a bus, go across the border with Canada, drive 45 minutes around Boundary Bay, and then cross back into the United States to go to school. So they would actually cross two borders in the morning and then two borders to get home. Like, it was really crazy.
So it's not only Hong Kong.
It's not only Hong Kong. It is
Kong.
unusual, but it is not unique.
All right.
Ip Kin Yun's been good making suggestions about spreading out the school nets and taking these kids. The government started a little bit of that, but he's suggesting they have 3 nets based on where the kids cross the border.
I was discussing with one of the immigration officer, a senior one.
Yeah.
And they said we have been very, very lucky.
Yeah.
Because no kids.
We haven't lost one.
Were lost or kidnapped.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they said it could be dangerous. I mean, considering the human flow.
Yeah, that's millions and millions of people and lots of little kids going back and forth.
And they can just take one of the kids. It sounds scary, but this is what the immigration officers has been thinking about. They said we have been very, very lucky.
I bet.
There's no kidnapping.
You should have those kids all roped up together,
So they have to figure out a way to solve this.
Yeah.
It's not only about not allowing them to come to Hong Kong, because so far they are entitled to education services.
They are entitled to education services here, but what I find really bizarre is that Hong Kong is just so accommodating, given these people don't live here. Like, could you imagine the French government saying, oh, well, we have all these French in London, and they have to take the channel back and forth every day. We'll have to accommodate these people who choose to live in London, and have their kids there. But they want to have their kids go to school in France every day at the same time. It's kind of bizarre when you think about it like that,
Well, that's the existing policy. So this is the education big issue of today.
Well, it's going to be one for a while, but then, of course, given that the Hong Kong government cut off a lot of the births, because the kids separate into 2 categories, what they call single knot and double knot, right? Single knot, they've got one parent who's a Hong Kong permanent resident. Double knot, neither parent.
Yeah. They call it type 1 and type 2.
Okay, there we go. yeah, type 1, type 2, like diabetes, I guess. But,
I actually don't like type 1 and type 2.
No?
It's kind of like treating them as test tube babies.
A little bit, yeah.
Sounds weird.
It's a little generic, too. It doesn't really tell you anything.
But single knot,
double knot, at least it conveys some information.
It works in Chinese and it works in English.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, but the double knots, of course, have been cut off, ever since the government said no more. So we're just going to have to manage this bulge as it comes through. But, again, are these kids going to be high school students traveling an hour and a half each way? When you're in kindergarten, it's only a half day. It's barely tolerable. But if they're doing a full day of school, I think I just see the government's being very accommodating in this case. Maybe a little bit too accommodating to people. Double knots, the parents can't come here, okay, but we may be looking at business in boarding school in Hong Kong, where they're just creating a place for these kids to stay.
All right, so I think today we should focus on cross-boundary.
Yep.
I think the cross-boundary policy, we should set up I think the government should set up a specific task force for cross-boundary policy.
Yeah. Well,
because all the cross-boundary policy has not been, in different aspects, it's not consistent. I mean, the education, the healthcare, but it will be very sensitive. If we set up a cross-boundary policy task force, then people will got very sensitive that it's the government wants to face face the north and introduce more mainlanders to come. But, you do have to solve it, because that's cross-boundary dilemmas.
Yeah, people are already sensitive about it, so they gotta take this bull by the horns and get a handle on it.
All right. So keyword for today: cross-boundary.
All right, sounds good.
All right.
Yep.